for the YouTube channel. So you guys can go back and watch this. That's number one. Or number two, if any of your friends and family couldn't make it because issues with Zoom or load shedding or data issues, etc., you could just send in this YouTube link and they can watch the information. So I'm just about to copy it now. Share. Okay, guys. So welcome to you guys tuning in from YouTube. Great to have you here. First of all, thank the person who sent you this link. We are about to share some important information to you. So basically what I've done so far is explained the guys who's listening, even to our listeners at home, that, we're moving in a different world when it comes to innovation. Right now, we are moving into the world of Web3, but a lot of people don't understand. So Web 1 was basically read only, where that's the only thing you could do on the internet is read only. Web 2 is read and write. However, read and write could be in your email, could be in your social media, and everything that you do on your mobile phone right now when you respond. And if you look closely, all of the platforms that you use is controlled by a huge giant, either your Elon Musk, your Mark Zuckerberg with Meta and Google, etc. So all your information or your digital crumbs that you leave by every time you're on social media is collected, swept up, and sold to a corporate. So that is centralized, right? It's owned by a CEO or a company, centralized. Now we're moving to Web3, where you read, write, and you own your own data. That means we don't ask you for your name and your surname. Everything is on the blockchain. So what's Web3? Web3 is basically all your blockchain, your smart contracts, cryptocurrency, AI. Well, it's called the fourth industrial revolution, right? The 4IR. All that is in Web3. So today, on today's call, we're going to show you how we are pivoting to Web3 and how the banks now, which are Web2, are moving to Web3. And this is a simple reason. Web3 is very, very fast. For example, with cryptocurrency, we can send up to 1,500 transactions per second. Whereas you on Web2, for those of you who are new here, if you are dealing with the bank, it takes you 2 to 3 business days, sometimes to 5 business days to send money to another country. Then they ask you why, who, all of those questions, yet it's your money. Whereas in Web3, send. So here is the challenge that banks are having. If they don't move to a faster payment system, where are their future clients going to pivot to? Like all you Gen Zs and Gen X, where you have this thing called instant gratification. If you send a message, you want to respond. When you're watching a video, you want to skip. Every 5 seconds, you want to skip the ads on YouTube, or maybe on TikTok, you're just scrolling. Even on Facebook, you're scrolling. You read a couple lines, you find it boring, you keep scrolling, right? Technology is allowing you to do that. Now, imagine you as a business guy, you live in this world where things are done within a second, emails are sent, messages are received. And now your bank manager tells you, you're going to wait 2 to 3 business days. Would you not go now and look for a faster way to send money across? So banks are realizing that, and they're saying, whoa, if we don't make this change, we will become another Nokia, another Blockbuster, another Kodak. That means they never adapt to change. So what happens now when you are in the process of the change and you understand where they're going to? That means you can make financial decisions, say, okay, if the banks are using this to move to Web3, can I be a part of that? And that is the reason why you're the call. That's the gist of why you are on the call, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to show you how banks are moving so you can monetize that. If you like anything that I've said so far, is the reaction bar at the bottom of your screen. Give me a thumbs up, or whichever. If you didn't find that valuable, you can also give me a thumbs down. I don't mind. Okay, so again, guys, please make sure your mics are muted. In this case, it's Shane D. And yeah, there's another shady on the call. So let me share my screen with you guys and show you exactly how we are doing this. I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. More importantly, if you want me to repeat, let me know at the end, Shane, could you go back? So let's start with what type of cryptocurrency are banks using at the moment. So, oh my God, guys, look, there's over 50, almost 55 million different cryptos. There's 961 different exchanges. So what you're looking at on your screen right now is called the coin market cap. It is a consolidation of all the cryptos around the world at the moment. It goes up, it goes down. But in the last 24 hours, 66 billion has come into this. Can you see? 2.76%. So some of you on this call who are brand new, you probably heard of Bitcoin, you probably heard of Ethereum, but there's 54 million. We're about to have 55 million different types of crypto. How many of you guys actually knew that? Okay. I mean, this is crazy. When I talked about that to people, they're like, Shane, I only heard of 3 or 4 cryptos, but that's where we at. So after Boost, you'll find it will show you that again. I just want you guys to see that before I move on. This is on a rotating basis. So there you go, 54.99. I remember at one stage it was only 38 million. Okay, so what are we talking about? We are talking about, number one is Bitcoin. Number two is Ethereum. We are talking about XRP. Now, as you can see, there's a bloodbath at the moment in the marketplace. Can you see that? And that's a good thing. Why is that a good thing? That means it's opportunity for us to buy. So we look at XRP up to 54 million. It is the 4th largest cryptocurrency, right? It's only $1.05. From the time it was created, it's up almost 18,000%. Now, let's look at how big the market is. This market is basically 66.21 billion. And in the last 24 hours, 1.38 billion came into this place. So let's recap. It's only $1.05. Let's call it $1. Now, what is XRP? So Ripple is the company and XRP is a token. It's the 4th largest token. Now, Bitcoin is one, Ethereum is one, we've got BNB is one, and we've got XRP is the 4th one. Tether and USDC are stable coins. They're pegged to the dollar, so that doesn't count as a token. Everybody understands that. So now let's look at Ripple as a company. The banks are using Ripple. So now my responsibility on this call is to share that information with you. Okay, so let's start with South Africa. Since majority of you are in South Africa, let me share which banks are already moving towards XRP. So please pay attention to this one. For those of you who are brand new, how many of you guys heard of Absa Bank? So Absa Bank, 15th of October, Absa Bank partners with Ripple to expand digital assets custodies. Can you see that they're already moving towards your cryptocurrency? Now, here's a question. How many of you guys bank with Absa, and did your Absa bank actually come to you and tell you, hey, we are actually partnering with Ripple, XRP is only $1, why don't you go and get some? No, they won't tell you that. So I want you to understand this. There's a huge shift at the market. So some of you dealt with cryptocurrency before, prior to 2024, 2023, and some of you had a good experience. Some of you have a bad experience. Some of you had a really very, very bad experience, okay? Like me, I'm in the crypto space for the last 14.5 years. I'm in the space where banks told me to stay away from it. Governments told me to stay away from it. And yet I went on to make 7-figure income from crypto. But now you guys are in such a fortunate situation where from 2024 and beyond, the world cannot ignore crypto. What does that mean? That means they are basically embracing it. They make it legal. So you guys are at the right time involved in the space. You are at the time where crypto is big. Okay, let me put it this way. Do you know when the Wright brothers built their first plane? Okay, I want to digress here because I need to really, really get this through, right? How many of you guys heard of the Wright brothers? Type in, give me a thumbs up if you heard about the Wright brothers. The Wright brothers created the first plane that lasted, I think, a couple of seconds in the air, right? You look at it, this is a picture of the plane. Can you see that? This is where crypto is at the moment. This is the pivotal moment where crypto is, where it's only taking off the ground with the Wright brothers' time. Now, let's look at flight. How many hundreds of thousands of flights that's happening around the world simultaneously? What about the airports, massive airports, the infrastructure that's built around this aeroplane? What about all the restaurants? What about the special articulated vehicles that goes in to fill the fuels, and the SkyChef trucks that comes in to make sure the meals are there? Then the cleaning of the planes, then building of the engines, then all those hangars. How big is this is really getting to me. How big is the airport space right now? You guys are one of those guys who's standing there on the sideline just watching this first Wright brothers planes take off. Can I stress that enough to say how much this industry is going to grow? And you guys are the front row seat. Remember the Wright brothers, guys. Remember that. So besides Absa Bank, okay, besides Absa Bank, which are the other countries and institutions that are actually absorbing and adopting crypto? Okay, list of institutions right now, 2025. So whatever your experience was in crypto, leave it aside. We are here now because banks haven't done this before. 2025, SBI Holdings, Japan, Ripple's largest partner, UAE uses Ripple. UAE partnering with Ripple. Bank of Japan again. USA, PNC Financial, Ripple's blockchain. These guys have the most amount of ATMs in America. American Express, this everybody knows. You probably have the card. Standard Chartered UK, use Ripple's technology. Santander, RippleNet. Commonwealth Bank of Australia, already partnered with Ripple. South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Russia, Standard Bank, South Africa uses Ripple. Okay. What about MasterCard? MasterCard partners with Ripple. MasterCard, right here, Ripple. What about our South African government? Did not our government say that we must stay away from crypto? It's a scam. South Africa's finance minister, Enoch, advanced major crypto regulators into incorporating crypto assets into the country's capital flow. Hello? Crypto assets into the country's capital flow. Our friends in New Zealand. There you go. New Zealand in the house. Reserve Bank of New Zealand currently Ripple. Our friends from Australia. Let's look at Australia. This, ladies and gentlemen, some of you are looking at this now, it means nothing to you. Major Bank, NZ, and Westpac listed financial institution to Ripple's global payment. There you go. Commonwealth Bank, NAB, HSBC Australia. So this is what's happening to some of your mindset. Shane, I don't understand any of this. Is out of my business. I don't care. Okay. Some of you saying, oh my God, the whole banking system is moving their payment and they're using XRP. How can I monetize this? You see, there's a difference in mindsets here. Some of you have an employee mindset where, so what? And that's fine. We respect you, no problem. But for those of you who are shocked about this, that the banks are partnering with crypto, including our own financial minister of South Africa, who's adding crypto to our country's portfolio and telling you that it's stay away, it's a taboo, it's a bubble, it's a scam, banks telling you to stay away, Facebook notice, all that is Web 2. Web 2 tells you to stay away because they don't want you to take your monies from Web 2 and put it into Web 3, because Web 3 is decentralized. Nobody controls you. Web 2 is centralized. So where do you want to be? You want to be in a banking space where it's controlled, where they know exactly where you're spending your money. They know what hobbies you like. They know how much of takeout you have. They know what your obesity level is. Why? Because when banks move to CBDC, that's programmable money. If they see you flying to Brazil and coming back anytime, every time you want to buy a ticket, they can block you. They see you spending so much of money at Burger King, they can actually block you from doing that if they put on certain rules. Do you know that your money is programmable? No. But we go on every day, alarm goes off, brush our teeth, wash our face, have a shower, wash our body parts, put clothes on, have breakfast, jump in the car, in the traffic. Hello, boss. Boss tells you, this is the time you have tea. Okay, boss, have tea. Boss tell you, now you can go eat lunch. Okay, boss, eat lunch. Now boss tell you, now you can go home and be with your loved one. Okay, boss, jump in the car, traffic, 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 come home. And you think it's normal. That is why I got retired when I was 30 years old, because I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm always reading. I'm always reading. Always read. Always read. This is the third edition. This was a gift Julian gave me. This is the third edition of Think and Grow Rich. The first time I read this book here was probably about in the year 2000, about 26 years ago. These types of books told me, Shane, you cannot live in the rat race. So I want you guys to understand, if I said anything that irked you, that made you feel miserable, that means when you have a dream and your body and your mind tells you, you know what, enough is enough, that is why you're on the call, because you're intrigued. You want to know, is there something else? Ladies and gentlemen, the banks are moving the payment system, and one XRP is $1.05. So now the next part of the question is, how do we benefit? How do we benefit? I proved it to you. I showed you what they're using. And more importantly, I showed you which banks are moving it across and which countries. So let's talk about how do we accumulate. This is the reason why you are on the call, is to have a look at this project that we're working with. What you're seeing on the screen is called Xrp Ai Bot. That's what it means, Xrp Ai Bot. The AI, Web3, XRP is AI, Web3, and the bot is Web3, hence Web3. Am I making sense? Now, I'm ready to give you financial advice. For those of you who are following me on YouTube, I'm merely the man on your screen showing you what your financial advisor is not showing you. Okay? But I'm not giving you financial advice. So let's look at it. Bitcoin is an asset token. You buy the whole long term. Ethereum is a technology token. You buy the whole long term. It is there for dApps and DeFi, decentralized finance, etc. XRP is a banking token. I just proved that to you. So XRP deep dive launched in 2012, used by banks, created to replace the SWIFT banking system. I need to really sort this. Well, I got all my settings here. I have no idea why this is happening. Please, guys, do not unmute yourselves. If you're on this call, do not unmute yourself. You are distracting me. If you do unmute yourself, I will basically put you in the naughty corner. Okay, so let's go. In the chat, everybody knows what is what is SWIFT banking system. Everybody knows what is the SWIFT banking system. In the chat, type in Y for yes, N for no. Okay, Julian. Okay, everybody knows what's the SWIFT banking system. Okay, good. So I'm not going to spend time explaining that. Let's move on to basically it's when all the banks talk to each other. If you're sending money overseas, you have to use the SWIFT banking system. Now, the SWIFT banking system is very old, slow, expensive, and confusing. Whereas XRP, I just showed you, it is basically blockchain technology, 1,500 transactions per second, and it's virtually free and completely transparent. So this is where the Web 2 is. And this is where Web 3 is. This is where they need to be. You know what happens when you have a slow phone? You want a fast phone. You know what happens when you slow car? You want a fast car. Exactly. That's what the banking is. They need to move something faster. So in the world of SWIFT, there's 11,500 banks. Right now, there's over 300 banks that are part of XRP. So if XRP takes up 25% of the SWIFT network, one XRP would be valued $10,000. How much is one XRP today? Please type in the chat. I want to see who's awake. How much is one XRP today? So you guys can imagine what we're setting ourselves up for. I remember back in the day when Bitcoin was $500, and I used to tell my friends and family, please buy, it's going to reach $1 million one day, and they laughed at me. Why? $500 is around 10,000 Rand, and it's like, it'll never reach 1 million change, it's only 10,000. And now it's way more than $1 million. You understand? So when we look at XRP, that time I had nothing to back it up. I couldn't tell them, hey, guess what? The banks, I had nothing. So nobody would listen to me. Now, if you don't listen to me, whose fault it is? Because I just proved it to you, right? So if 25% of all the banks in the world have now partnered with XRP, one XRP will be valued at $10,000. Can you see why I told you when you're looking at $1 million, please don't look at it through your current reality. Where you are currently in your life, I don't want you to look it through that. I want you to understand that we're taking you from Web 2 world, we're dumping you to the Web 3 world where it's moving very, very fast. I showed you how many billion in a day. You tell me you can't make $1 billion in the next 12 to 24 months. Okay, I want you to dream when you're on my call. I want you to believe when you're on my call. So let's go on. What happens if XRP just goes to $10? 100,000 XRP if we help you get. If you have 100,000 XRP together, myself, everybody who invited you to this call, we help you to get to 100,000 XRP. That will make you a dollar millionaire. This should excite everybody on the call. Even if it takes you 5 years to get 100,000 XRP, I can tell you whatever you're doing currently will never make you a dollar millionaire. Even if it takes you 10 years, what you're doing currently in South Africa and around the world will never make you $1 million. What if it only goes to just $10? Leave alone 15 or 20 or $100. We just say $10 and we help you to accumulate 100,000. Some of your minds will shut off now because you know what? You are so prone to being, with negative propaganda. You cannot see yourself as a dollar millionaire, which I understand totally. You have to brainwash yourself to think you're a millionaire. What if we just get you 1,000 XRP and it goes to $10? That's 10,000 XRP times 16 Rand. That's 160,000 Rand within the next 12 months. How many of you could do with the extra 1,000 XRP or 160,000 Rand? Type it in the chat. How many of you could do with the extra 1,000? If you give you 500 XRP and it goes to $10, you're making what, 80,000 Rand? Is that okay? 80,000 Rand? And this is the biggest mistake people make. It's not okay. I just showed you $1 billion industry and you're going to settle for 80,000? No. If you want to be my friend, you don't talk to me about, Julian, talk to these guys, Julian. We don't talk 80,000. I'm going to show you what I did in 4 months here. So let's talk. How do we earn? Guys, we use this beautiful bot that you see on the screen. This is AI-based quantum computing with IBM. Our data centers are in Finland. And this is just for reference for your brain because some people cannot think AI and what have you. So this is just to show reference, right? This is the bot. So what does this bot do? This bot does arbitrage trading. What is arbitrage trading? Arbitrage trading is this. Some people assume trading where some of you probably say, Shane, you're telling me that I have to sit on my phone all day and look at charts and look at graphs and tell me where to buy and sell. No. Hands-free, baby. Hands-free. This is what your bot does. Your bot basically scans 4 of the world's top exchanges that we use, which is Binance, which is Coinbase, which is Kraken, and which is Bitstamp. 4 exchanges. Those 4 exchanges, how many exchanges are there? Anybody saw? How many exchanges are there? 961, right? We use the four top exchanges. So all those exchanges, what they do, they exchange XRP. That's why they call it an exchange. But at any given time, the price of XRP is not the same on those exchanges. A slight difference, which I'll show you at the end of the call. So what this guy does, it scans the 4 exchanges, buys from one exchange, sells to the other exchange. So even if the price of XRP drops, doesn't matter. If they're still selling XRP, there's a still price variation. All they do is buys and sells, and it pays you 6 days a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Today is Tuesday. Today we activate a bot, and I'm going to show you live how I activate the bot. So all you got to do is to activate a bot on a Tuesday. Can you do that? And how you activate a bot? Click 3 buttons. So let's recap what I just said very, very slowly. This bot here, it scans multiple exchanges, detects the price in real time. It rapid automates win trades only, speed and precision, buy low and sell high. This is Dr. Jack Van Muller. He is the CEO, and he is the guy that actually programmed this bot. This bot was created and trading from 2019. It was only for corporate. This was only for corporate. However, they decided to take it out via a relationship marketing or a network marketing route. That is why you guys are on this call. Now, a lot of people ask me, is that just the AI? Is that really, really him? Well, this is me in Thailand together with Mr. Rehan Gohar. This is Rizwan, our CFO, Basil, our CTO, and this is Dr. Jack Van Muller. And this is Shweta. She's our Chief Operations Manager. She is basically born and brought up in the UK, studied at Westminster University, and she was the chief operations manager for Barclays as well as Citibank in London. And she has now joined us. Absolutely brilliant person. Dr. Jack is a guy who created it. And these three guys, they are multi-billionaires that live in the UK and they own skyscrapers in Dubai. So they write compensation plans for companies. So what they do is they collect watches as hobbies. They buy watches. When I say watches, I'm not talking about Rolex. Rolex is like the entry level for them. These guys go big. And that's how they met. And that's when Mr. Rehan convinced Dr. Jack, he is not a networker, he is a proper businessman, and he wanted to take this out to banks and corporates. But he said, let's take it out to the average person out there. If this works for them, they will definitely take it out word of mouth to the community via Web3. So that is why you are here. You are getting an A-grade tool that's used by corporates. And today, you get to partake in that. So your bot is programmed on the blockchain. It's a smart contract, Web3, remember? So what does it program to do? Okay, so it's programmed to give you a 300% return. So let's show you how much the bot is, because some of you are probably turning in your seats. They're saying, Shane, I get it. Talk to me. How much is the bot? Okay, this is the price of the bot. The fee of this bot is 1 XRP. If you're in South Africa right now, around under 20 Rand. If you're around the world, $1, 60, and let's say it's under $20. Okay, sorry, $1. Call it $1.50, right? How many of you can afford the fee here? How many of you got 20 Rand if you're from South Africa? How many of you can afford the fee? Give me a Y in the chat. And it's okay if you don't have 20 Rand. I understand people are going through a very, very tough time. How many of you can afford the fee? If you can afford the fee, you're good to go. Next thing, how do you, what can I use the word, fund your bot? You need a minimum of 10 XRP. So 1 XRP is the fee, you need 10 XRP. So if you're in South Africa right now, you need 11 XRP, which is plus minus 350 Rand. Why we say that is because when we sleep, tomorrow we don't know what the price is going to be because price just goes up. Okay, so we allocate for all that. If you are from New Zealand, it's plus minus $20. Australia, I think $22, etc. So if you got access to 350 Rand, type in the chat, I'm in, because you're already in. Nothing's going to hold you back. You'll be silly. You do not partake in what the banks are doing, right? You're not accumulating an asset that what the banks are using. So you're in. So you're going to get back to the person who invited you here, and you're going to tell them, look, I'm in. They're going to send you a link. You're going to tell them, look, I've got my funds, and this is what I want to do. I want 11 XRP. But how does a bot work? Very, very simple. This bot pays you from a Wednesday till a Monday. Tuesday, we activate the bot, which I'm going to show you. Now, your bot is programmed to give you a 300% return. Your bot is programmed to give you 300% return. Hey, I don't know where my bot is going. Hey, let me show you this. You can come in with a minimum, let's just say you can only afford 350 Rand. You come in with 10 XRP. This is programmed to give you 30 XRP. Then your bot is capped. It comes to an end because that's what the smart contract does. It's programmed to give you X amount of return. Some of you may come in with 15 XRP or 16 XRP or 17 XRP or 502 XRP or 2001 XRP. It does not matter how many XRP you have. It is programmed to give you a 300% return. Does everybody understand that? So you can come into 12, 15. You can tell me, hey, Shane, how many XRP can I get to 500 Rand? How many XRP I can get to 1,000 Rand? It all depends on your affordability. Am I making sense? So we're averaging around 1% a day. Let's call it 15% or 20% per month. Okay? So it takes you like probably 6 months for you to get your 100 XRP back, which means your capital. Am I making sense? But when the price goes up, it'll be way quicker because remember, you only put in 350. Price goes up, you can get your money back within the month. The whole idea is to accumulate XRP. Okay? So how many of you would like to earn 400%. Type in me in the chat because you wasn't put on to just be 300%. So for 400%, it is very, very simple. You see, I want you guys to understand when Bitcoin came out, there weren't no billboards. There was not no banks put out articles and saying go buy Bitcoin, we partner in Bitcoin, nothing. It was a group of us who used to speak, go for meetings. And then from there, we got some technology guys came in and it just grew word of mouth while the government's tried to shut us down. Banks tried to shut us down. Why? Because we're competing with the banking system of the world. You cannot compete with the banking system because they'll shut you down. Ask all the countries that has been invaded by US. You go against the American dollar, out. So we faced a lot of challenges, but now it's your time to shine. So how does this whole thing come together? The company wants to incentivize you. If you share this with just one person who can afford one XRP fee and 10 XRP, you now get 400%. That means your 30 XRP now becomes 40 XRP. Then you can take your 40 XRP and take another bot, and now you make 160 XRP. Then you take your 160, and then can you see how you get to 100,000 XRP? Are you following me, guys? Are you following me? This is how the rich make money. They make the money's work for them. The poor, they get paid, they get taxed, and then they go spend money, and what's left, they want to invest. The rich makes the money work for them. So welcome to the millionaire circle. So back here, you can choose whichever package you are comfortable with. Remember, we want to get to 100,000 XRP. So if you start with 10 XRP, don't stay there. Don't stay there. When you can buy another bot. You can buy 2, 3, 4, 5 bots. You can buy how many bots you want. So that's the first part and dusted. This is for people who want to be passive. That means you don't want to build a business side. You just got one friend of yours. You can put him in and make 400%. That's good to go. Now, let me take on my customer cap and put in my entrepreneur cap, my big boy briefs. I want to talk to those people who wants to help me take this out to your community. How many of you guys believe that your friends and family needs to get this information so they can position themselves when XRP goes up? I mean, if you go to your phone, there's thousands, right? But I'm going to restrict you. We don't want 1,000 of your friends because we don't want to deal with unnecessary people with employee mindsets. We just want 5 of your friends. What if I show you a way with just five friends, we can make you $1 million? It's called Crack the Code. So if you are sitting on this call and listening to me right now, I want to set the tone for this call. For you to be part of our business, think of you as your Federal Reserve Bank, okay? You're the big bank. Now you want to get branches all over the country. Then those branches have satellite branches. Then those satellite branches have ATMs all over the place, including garages. So if you don't get your first branches in line, how do you get all your ATMs sorted out? You won't as a business model. So think of you as the Federal Reserve Bank. Because when I talk about making $1 million, I want to share something with you. Oh, Julia, do you have your card? My wallet is not with me. 1 second, let me get my wallet because I want to show you how you get paid, right? 1 second, let me just get my wallet. Guys, I normally have the cards in the drawer, but I've already sent it out to Zimbabwe and the rest of the guys who wanted their cards. Sorry. Now, some of you, again, employee mindset might not understand what this is. MasterCard that did due diligence on our company and said, what's your 5-year arbitrage turnover going to be? And we researched the owners. We researched the company, we did the audit, and we are proud as MasterCard and EasyPay to partner with your company. Now, what happens to the reputation of MasterCard if our company doesn't deliver? There's going to be huge problems. So why I'm saying this is because for MasterCard to partner with us, believe you me, they took this company upside down, and I've seen the amount of paperwork that has to be done, and they kept on moving the goalposts. What about this? What about this? And Rehan with his team kept on giving them the information they required. Once they were happy, we get the MasterCard. Now, you can see here, there's no name here. There's numbers in the back with an expiry date as well as a CCV number. That means you guys can do online shopping. While you earning your XRP, you can tap at a spa, draw cash from the ATM, travel the world. This is used over 200 I'm not sure of the figure, but 220 million ATMs, I think, around the world. I'll get you all the figures for that there. So I want you now, this I'm talking to the business guys, not the passive guys who just want to put one person and get 400%. I'm talking with those guys. If you want to build this with me, the minimum requirement is you to share this business concept with 5 people. Just 5 people. You're going to make your list and you say, Shane, I'm ready to rock and roll. These are the 5 people who I know who was hungry for 2025. There's no monthly cost to this business. It's very, very cheap. It's only $350. You got thousands of people on your phone who can afford $350, but we only want 5. Okay. If you want to put more, there's no problem. More money you make, but minimum requirement for the lazy thinkers say, what's the minimum? It's 5. Are you guys okay with that? So make a list of 5 people who can afford $350 or $120. Make your list. You call them up and you can invite them for tomorrow's call. They need to be on this call. So you get paid with this MasterCard. Draw it from the ATM. If you're traveling around the world, it does not matter. You're not going to convert your rands anymore. It is all done by the card. And I showed you why, right? I showed you why. Let's go back. Let's change your refresh your memory. MasterCard partner program. Can you see this? Ripple payment system with MasterCard. Crypto partner program. So are you guys good with that? Now, next thing. Please do not go onto Google and type in, is Xrp a scam? Yes, they're going to tell you that because it's Web 2. They will want this to collapse because we're going against what? The banking system. So I want you to do yourself a favor. Do not embarrass yourself and send a link to the person who invited you and say, see what I found, because they find it. We find it. I find it. MasterCard find it. It's all fake news propaganda. So please don't embarrass yourself. MasterCard would have done more due diligence than you would ever would, because MasterCard does not go onto YouTube and Google to research a company. You guys understand that. I just want to get it clear out there because I don't want people to come and say, oh, Shane, did you see this? Yeah, we did. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to all those entrepreneurs. How do you get paid in this? Very, very simple. If you take this out to, like I took it out to Atisha, I was sitting with corporate and said, okay, explain the compensation plan. So my wife took one bot, I made 8%. So one bot gives you 8%. Okay, my other bot took a walk. So this bot she took gave me 8%. Whether it was 10 XRP or 20 XRP, I made 8%. Then she took another bot. I can't stop her. My wife loves to shop, right? My daughter also, they love to shop. So they bought another bot. So I made 8%, 8%, 8%, 8%, 8%. I loved it. My wife signed on my daughter because, hey, she wants to make 400%, right? So my daughter said, Dad, I'm in. My wife made 8%. I made 2%. So my wife was my first level. My daughter is the second level. Ladies and gentlemen, just like your bank, you are the guy. Your first level is all your branches. Your second level is all your satellite branches. And your third, fourth, and fifth, and right up to level 20 is all your ATMs. See, I want you to think bank now, right? When you go to a bank, hello, Mr. Bank Manager. Yes, I'd like to put 5,000 into the bank. No problem. Put your 5,000. We're giving you 5% for the whole year and a MasterCard. You're going to tell your client, hey, we're doing 15 to 20% a month, and boom, there's your MasterCard. And you can spend this anywhere in the world, nobody will ask you. So which bank is better? Your Web 2 bank or your Web 3 bank? Web 3 bank. So you're going to go out and you're going to get your clients, right? That's the mentality you need to have. But for now, we just want 5. You're going to get 5, 10, 20 extra, whatever, that's your dama. We just want 5. That's all. That's the minimum we need because we're going to make $1 million. So we get paid 20 levels deep. So let's show you the compensation plan before I log in my account, right? So let's go back here. So first level, 8%. Oh, by the way, if some of you don't want to use a MasterCard and you want to withdraw, we have a smart contract so you can withdraw to your wallet, your Web3 wallet, SafePal, MetaMask, Trust Wallet, any of those wallets, you can withdraw to that there. So the 4 streams of income, 8%. Remember I told you 8% for every person that comes in, and every time you take a bot, you make 8%. Level 2, you get 2%. Level 3 to level 6, you get 1%. Level 7 to level 20, this is where all your ATMs are. Every time somebody takes a bot, or the ATM or ATM franchise, you make 0.5%. Okay, good. You understand that? Now, some of you say, Shane, I knew there was a catch. Why you'll only pay me to level 20? What in case if on the level 19, I bring a big builder that goes to level 144 million? What do I get from there? Nothing, right? Why does the company only pay me for level 20? Wrong. You get paid the next compensation, ladies and gentlemen, unlimited levels deep. You get here paid till infinity, unlimited levels. So once your team reaches 1,000 volume, that means you need 3. Remember I told you 5 people, but you only need 3 people with 333 XRP in each account. You now become ambassador 1. But you can have 100 people here, 200 people here, doesn't matter. So once you claim your 6%, guess what happens? They're going to update the bot. They're going to take a new bot, or they want to get 400%, they'll share it with 1 person. Or if they want to build a business, they'll share it with 5 people. Guess what? This volume comes in. You can claim again and again and again and again. Or you could let it accumulate and say, hey, let it go to ambassador 2. I can claim 7% from here. Oh, I'm growing very, very fast. My ATMs are compounding all over the shore. Let it go to 5,000. I can claim 8%. And all of this, ladies and gentlemen, is paid by XRP. And how many XRP we want? 100,000 XRP. So I got started with this, building this in January. It took me 70 days to hit Ruby, 70 days. Then it took me 60 days to hit Sapphire. And then now it took me 33 days to hit Sapphire again. I'm the first Sapphire in Africa, and I did it 2 times already from January till now. And how many XRP I made? Let's show you. Okay, so let me delete all of this and log into my account. Everybody understands that? So what I'm going to do now, guys, for those of you watching at home on YouTube, unfortunately, I'm going live onto my account, and it's very, very private. It's just for these guys on the call. So I won't be able to show you anything of that sort. So I have to stop this live. So don't forget to subscribe, like,